Your directing debut, how are you feeling about it?
Well, my heart rate's at 145. That's just how you need to know, really.
Excited to be directing here?
Yeah, really excited. It's such a nice, sort of like warm, welcoming theatre, and considering that, like, I've recently moved into the area, everybody's just been so welcoming, and it feels nice to be directing here.
So, which play will you be directing?
So it's Hard to Swallow by Mark Wheeler.
Okay.
It's quite an intense play. It's
Can you
not
just
going to
speak
have...
up, please?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm quiet, sorry. Hard to Swallow by Mark Wheeler.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not going to be very light-hearted. It's quite intense.
Quite a heavy play.
Yeah, it's based on a true story
Right.
of a young girl called Catherine Dunbar, who very sadly, I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but she dies at the end of the play, and she dies of anorexia. And it's one of the first really high-profile cases in the UK of anorexia. And the perspective comes a lot from her mother in it, and she's basically telling the story through her eyes of what she sees Catherine go through. And it's very poignant. There are some light-hearted moments, there are some laughs, but for the majority it is going to be about Catherine and seeing her journey like slowly decline, and yeah, it ends beautifully. It ends really, really beautifully.
I was about to say it's quite a dark play in its theme, but it handles that theme very well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite abstract as well, isn't it? You talked about goblins and all sorts of things. Could you
There
explain
are,
a bit more
yeah.
about that?
So the premise of it is that you have these very realistic scenes with Catherine and her family, and then there are these other scenes where these almost like fairy tale creatures kind of emerge, and it's meant to be Catherine's inner thoughts and Catherine's inner workings, and her kind of contextualising her own anxiety and her own anorexia, and trying to put sort of a name to it.
Mm.
And so there's a character of the troll who appears a lot throughout it, and I want to make them quite a big part. It's not just going to be, rah, I'm a troll, rah. It's going to be a lot more psychological than that.
So your vision for these abstract characters, are they going to be quite abstract in their appearance, or they're quite straight within the play? How does it work?
Quite abstract, and there's going to be a lot. It's going to be a play that has a lot of movement as well. There's going to be a big sort of like movement emphasis on everything. Not dance. It's not dance. Just want to point out. There's no dancing in it. But yeah, thinking about how we move our bodies and the way we position ourselves a lot of the time, and particularly the fairy tale characters, how they would move and how they would act. And for Catherine, because as she gets progressively weaker as well, she's going to have to change her body language quite a bit.
So it's quite what on the surface is a quite dark play. It's actually quite abstract and quite colourful in many ways. Yeah. So casting wise, what sort of actors are you looking for? What's your casting requirements for this show?
Hang on to your hats, everyone. There's 31 characters.
There's at least 80 people in it. All right.
I'm not going to have 31 characters. You can double up a lot of
guys.
parts. So I kind of break it down into the family characters and then the others. And I don't want that to come across as the family are the main characters and then the others are all bit parts. They're not. They will have a very clear and defined role in the play. But that's just kind of how I've separated it. So there's Catherine, who we've spoken about. She's in her teens to early 20s. Very, very introverted. Quite childish. Doesn't know how to control her emotions a lot of the time. It'll take somebody quite willing to maybe go to a little bit of a dark place to kind of get the best out of her. It's an intense role.
Yeah.
There's Maureen, who's the mother. She's 30s to 50s. She's kind of Catherine's wing woman, so to speak. She's the one who cares most about Catherine. As opposed to the father, who's John, again, 30s to 50s. And he sees it all as she's faking it. She's not really going through this. And he's supportive to a point, and then he kind of goes, well, this is all ridiculous. And then there's her two siblings as well. So there's Simon, who's the older brother. He could be sort of anywhere, late teens, early 20s. And Anna, the younger sister, so she, again, teens, early 20s. And again, they're both supportive of Catherine, but have their own like little side stories going on. Simon's very well respected. He's going off to medical school, and he has a stable girlfriend. Anna's very much the younger child, and she's a little bit impetuous. Is that a word?
Petulant.
Petulant. Yeah. And doesn't understand Catherine necessarily. And then the others, as I like to call them, these are the fairy tale-y type characters. So there's the troll, there's 3 billy goats. It's weird. It's a bit of a weird...
It's quite out there.
It opens with the billy goats. So, but they're sort of representations of Catherine's journey throughout it. And they're going to kind of come on and off the stage. A lot of the movement as well is people becoming parts of the stage, people becoming props. So there's a scene where loads of people have to become a car, and then 2 double yellow lines, and so there's lots of different things for people to be doing. So there's not a bad part in it, really.
No, and so the parents will be cast as adults.
Ideally, yeah. It is a young company show.
Yeah.
But I would like to sort of cast age appropriate if at all possible.
That'd be good to sort of get 2 generations working together.
It'd be lovely.
Yeah, that's really good. The big selling point of this show, it's actually on the GCSE syllabus.
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah, yes. And we've been talking to Mark Wheeler, who wrote the play. Yeah, I know.
No pressure.
Yeah, and he's willing to have an input into it.
It's going to be the 500th.
It is Mark Wheeler's 500th licensed production.
There you go. Yeah.
So we're very privileged to be doing that.
It's a big one.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And your audition date?
It is the 1st of April at 12:30, just after Young Company.
That's wonderful. The 1st of April at 12:30. And
Emma... The dates? I know the dates, if you want.
Gemma knows the dates. Sorry, Emma, you're
they
redundant.
They are the 16th to the 21st of October.
16th to the 21st of October.
Yeah,
you are right.
Very confident.
Yeah, and
thank you.
It's a studio production.
Yes,
it's a studio production in our new Jeffrey Sword studio upstairs. Fantastic, Gemma. Thank you very much.